Hello, friends, and welcome to another replay analysis. This time, Masticoli playing Jakiro. You told me you are a pretty new player to Dota and MOBAs. Welcome to the game. But you feel like you're starting to get some of the fundamentals, the laning you're starting to get. Mid-game, you're feeling pretty lost. And this is only your second game at Jakiro, so, we'll cut you a bit of slack on any mistakes we see. So my plan for this is that we will still kind of approach some fundamentals, even though you feel like you know some of it, just because as a new player, I really want to make sure we set you straight on those, make sure you don't, develop bad habits right off the start. So far, looks pretty good, though. Your starting item build looks solid. If I wanted to be a little nitpicky, I would say, and I wouldn't really expect you to know this, the extra health from Fairy Fire, that's pretty good for close fights. However, Jakiro does not actually make much use of the 2 damage because his auto attack animation is pretty bad. So I personally don't frequently buy Fairy Fire, but some people do, and it's kind of a preference thing, so I'm not going to go crazy on it. And then the other thing is that Clarities, I would say right now it's less common to buy 2 right at the start, just because you kind of don't really need to, especially when you have a mango, 2 mangoes even. So like people will start with 1 clarity, and then later on, if you need it, you could get something else. So for example, if we didn't get the second clarity, you could get another iron branch, which should give you a bit more stats, give you more intelligence, mana, all that stuff. So it's like slightly more cost efficient, but again, for a new player, who cares about all that? I mean, I'm sure you do, because if you're getting to Dota, you're getting into like all these specific things, right? It's fun. The one thing I want to note, I don't know if you are, so I'm just going to say it. Because you're new to the game, it's really hard to predict lanes. So it's really important to keep your eye on the minimap. And I see 2 heroes showing right now. So we see Green, Mirana, and Kunkka over there. And if you press, well, depending on your settings, if you press Alt, you can see who they are if you don't want to check the colors. So I see Mirana and Kunkka, which honestly I would have expected them to be in the off lane, so I guess we're not playing against them. That leaves the other 3. It really would be weird to see Alk here, but again, hard to say. So we could be Alk mid, then these 2 in the off lane, or who knows. And because right now it's hard to predict who's in your lanes, I think general item builds like this will be fine. Which, by the way, you even shared 2 tangos over. Very happy so far. So first, here's my first critique. And I know you sent this a week ago, so you probably already know better by now. But just for everyone else who might be a new player, or in case you didn't, Jakiro, as a general rule, I would start Dual Breath probably about 99% of the time. It is just the kind of the better spell to start with. And in fact, I wouldn't get Ice Path until level 4 usually. I'm going to assume that was a misclick. Yeah, I'm confident that was a misclick. There's no reason to use it there. I think you're trying to use Ice Path to secure the rune. But it's not really worth it. Ice Path is just a really weak spell, level 1. If we look at it, it does 50 damage for 100 mana. And yeah, it stuns for a second, but let's say you stun for a second and you walk up and you get 1 auto attack off. So we got 50 damage plus an auto attack. That's pretty much the damage Dual Breath gets you. And Dual Breath lasts quite a while, so you can get in some extra auto attacks there because it has a move slow and attack slow. So it's very effective at right-click trading. This, I wouldn't expect you to know this again, but Jakiro, in fact, a lot of people don't realize this about Jakiro. You don't use Dual Breath for damage at level 1. It's actually really bad for damage level 1. You use it as a trading skill. So when they come to right-click trade you, you use Dual Breath, and of course you're going to get some damage. But then because they are affected by a move slow and an attack slow, if they stand and trade there with you, you benefit because they're affected by the attack slow. And if they run away, you win the trade because they're affected by a move slow, and then you can kite them and get an extra auto attacks. So just throwing it out for damage is not the way to go. But it's still the spell you want level 1 for that purpose, because you can hit 2 heroes at once, especially for the rune when they come in for that. And it's just like decent damage, not the best, but like 110 damage, certainly better than Ice Path. And then you get Liquid Fire level 2 because it doesn't cost any mana. So it's like free harass. And you should manually cast Liquid Fire, by the way. Because for whatever reason, you get 100 extra attack range when you manually cast Liquid Fire. So like press E on the hero. So this, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that's pretty good to stand up there when you're feeling confident. Because the first creep wave will not aggro to you. So right now, they're pretty low. You can go and chase them. I think you were trying not to aggro the creeps there, which is really good. But it took a little too long, and so then eventually he did get to go. So like right here, when the... speed up. So like right here, this is when you might consider using Dual Breath level 1 to hit him with that, because it'll slow him, and then you chase an auto attack a couple times. You get in like 200, 250 damage, depending on the amount of auto attacks you get in. But you can't really do that with Ice Path, because it has such a long cast time, it's easy to miss. Now this, I don't know if you know or not, but only the first creep wave does not aggro to you until they meet here. After that, every other creep wave can aggro to you normally up here. Okay, well actually, when it comes back here, it's like different. The rules for creeps have been really weird because they try to change it to affect pulling. Let's not worry too much about it. The thing I want you to remember, try to avoid being near creeps just for now, so that this doesn't happen. And what you do is correct. The second you realize it's aggroed, you run back to lane. That is exactly what you want to do. But we just want to try not to have to do that, of course. So this lane is pushing. Right now would be a great time to go pull. And Jakiro's a little slow, so you have to start walking like right now, and you will just make it. But this would be a great time. I think you've already, you mentioned you already started to watch some of the videos on the channel. Thank you, by the way. Which means you probably know that I would recommend a half pull here, where you try to only aggro the back 2 creeps here. And that would be really good because your lane isn't pushing too badly. So if you delay like your creeps, like if you only send in 2 creeps, I think it'll actually start to fix the lane on its own, and you won't actually have to do that much. But we did miss that chance to pull, so the lane is going to stay up here, and that's not ideal. Now it looks like you are coming to do a pull here, so that's good. We could have done this a little sooner, not to worry. I think you actually are going for that half pull here, which is really nice. I would not expect new players to know that, but I guess if you've been watching the channel, maybe you do. Actually, I missed when you used the other mango. Let's go back. You want to try not to use this mango. The mango is when you have to use it, especially if you have a clarity. You know, if it was a misclick, that's fine. But let's just speed up a little bit here. Yeah, it looks like it was a misclick. Well, then nothing to say about it. Obviously, we want to avoid that stuff. But yeah, it's just a matter of practice or getting used to like all the buttons and everything. Half pull, great. I won't get into too much detail. The downside of this half pull, you did get 3 creeps, so this camp is going to be very close to dying, and that means you're not going to pull. You're not going to have a camp, a small camp really, to pull until 3 minutes, which we might actually see that come into play. So let's keep an eye on that. I'm glad. Okay, you're pinging that guy. That's good, because I do think that is a kill opportunity. When you see that range creep running at you like this, you have to run back into lane. Okay, he lost sight of you there, so it worked out. Good on you for killing off that camp, so now it will spawn at 3 minutes. Sometimes the range creep will just follow you, and it's a little buggy sometimes, to be honest. If he is following you, you have to get him back to lane. You have to run back in. If not, it's not a huge deal, though. Oh, what I was going to say about the mangoes, by the way, we want to try to use the clarities before the mangoes, and we just use the mangoes when we have like no other choice. But if you're going to take the time to pull, this is great, actually. I like that you tried to stack here. I think it's really good. Just to be clear why it's good, you have a Sven. He makes use of stacked camps. You are Jakiro. You have a lot of AoE spells. You make good use of stacked camps. Skywrath, really bad about it. Disruptor, decent at it, actually. But I think it just favors the two of you to have this camp stacked. All of this right now, I think, could just be time pulling, by the way. I wanna give you that challenge, especially if you're new to the game. Just try pulling a lot. Try doing a lot of half pulls. In fact, let me just say, do a half pull. Try to stack the camp at like 2 minutes, and then you can do whatever you want. Just try to work that in, like half pull at 117, stack at 153, and then from there you can do whatever. A bunch of half pulls, a full pull, whatever. Just try it. Build up a good habit for it. That'll last you for a long time. So you might have some carries who complain about it, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it'll benefit you to just get in a really good habit of that. Pull at 117, stack 153. From there, it's up to you. But give it a go. Yeah, you see how like little Ice Path does. The Liquid Fire, the attack slow makes it also good for trades. If you end up right-click trading. Yeah, so once this creep's aggroing to you, you want to pull him back in because it's going to, while he's chasing you, they always know where you are. But also, if you drag one creep with you, then it's like 3 versus 4 in the lane, and that's naturally going to push in their favor. By the way, you're saving up some money here. Yeah, so by level 3, you usually want 2 points in Dual Breath and 1 in Liquid Fire. So like 1, level 1, you get this, level 2, level 3. You pick up Ice Path at level 4 in general, unless, for whatever reason, you really need the range. The guy's got like 40 health or something, and you have to hit him with the Ice Path. Then you can level it up early for the kill, or if someone is like TPing out in front of you, you can level it up and use it. But otherwise, you kind of want 2 points in Dual Breath as soon as you can, because that increases the damage from 110 to 220, so that's just really valuable for you. And the mana cost doesn't go up too much. Missed the bounty rune. I'm not going to be too harsh on that. Of course, you want to get... Right now, another good time to pull. You missed the small one, but we could still do the hard camp pull here. Alright, you remember to buy your items. I don't really have an issue with the items you bought. Oops. I don't think you need to salve here. I think you're still okay. Boots first can be fine. We want to be a little... what do I want to say about it? I think it's going to be hard to make use of boots first. You know what? Never mind. Let's not worry about it. I think it'll be... If that's what you want to go for, that's okay. Just make sure that like when you need small items, don't be afraid to buy them. I guess is what I want to say. Like if you need a stick in your lane early, you need raindrops, you need more regen. In this case, it worked out fine. But other times, always saving 500 gold for the boots of speed, that can be bad. But in this game, I think it was fine. The lanes went relatively smoothly, to be honest. They didn't do that much to you, and kind of same vice versa. Like, I think you had a lot of opportunities to pull, and that's kind of just what I would look for. Getting that level 2 damage in now. Nice. So now we have the skill build we're supposed to have, but the build-up does matter. I don't know what this guy's doing. He just walks up and dies. Let's use this as a thought experiment here, though. If you're going to max Ice Path now, that's okay. There are 2 common skill builds for Jakiro. The first 4 levels is pretty consistent. Go 2 points here, 1 point in each. Then from there, you can max Dual Breath, or you can max Ice Path. So I'll see what you do, but I just want to throw that out there. Next, let's start thinking about your game plan, because this is starting to be the end of laning stage, so let's start thinking about what you want to do here. It's different. It's a little unfortunate that you sent this game because you have an Alchemist in this game. Alchemist shifts what you want to do. Usually, and if you watch the videos, you've probably heard me say, around now, I think you could start heading to the off lane and start creating pressure here. Anytime you play against an Alchemist, he becomes your priority, and you want to run at him. So you would ask the Grimstroke and maybe even the Night Stalker, and like Drow goes to farm a side lane or something. But like at least you and maybe the Grimstroke, you just want to run at Alchemist. So if Alchemist is here in the mid lane, you want to get wards up like here or both. And like whenever you see him jungling, you guys just run at him and make his life a huge pain. And if he's mid, you guys run at him, force him to go to the jungle, follow him into the jungle. Alchemist is a hero who, if he farms for like the first 20 minutes uncontested, he probably wins. Or he has a very high chance at winning. And if he doesn't farm very well in the first 20 minutes, he kind of becomes like a bit useless and he probably loses. So it becomes less important to like run at the safe lane and just to run at the Alchemist. So whether he's mid is a little more common, but sometimes people take him to the safe lane. If he's in the safe lane, great, you just run up there like usual. But if he's in the mid lane, rotating between the jungle, then you want to get wards there and you want to invade. That's kind of your mid game plan here. But so after that kill, thinking about that now, like, okay, I want to run at the Alchemist. I want to do things right now. Can you do things right now? The answer is no. Because if you look at your mana, you don't have any. And you're pretty healthy. But the lack of mana means you can't cast any spells. And if you can't cast any spells, you're pretty useless. Because we mentioned earlier, his attack animation is really not good. Now, this is free, but like, do you really want to run into a lane and like, oh, liquid fire? Yeah, it doesn't do that much. So right now, with your money and keeping our game plan in mind, I want you to buy at least one Clarity. Because a Clarity will solve some of our mana problems right now. But we also want to stay on the map and keep causing trouble for Alchemist. And so that means we're going to have heroes next to us. I think a Ring of Basilius could be really good. Our Raindrops for mana regen. The Windlace to be a little faster to chase the Alchemist. You could even be careful on this. I'm a little hesitant to give this advice. But against some heroes who need to farm very heavily at this point of the game, Alchemist, Meepo, those kind of guys, Broodmother, it can be okay to buy like a couple Sentry Wards and block some of their camps. But I'm a little... I don't want you to make a habit of that, I guess, because it's not good against certain heroes. I wouldn't recommend doing this. You're going to get away with it looks like. Now, see, so a couple creeps are chasing you. You also took a tower hit, but fortunately, you're kind of tanky. That was just generally not worth it, even though he's low. So I would avoid that. I think right now, stacking is a good option. Sven and Drow both do camps really well. Taking a look at the minimap. Don't see Alchemist. So we need a couple wards, and we need to place wards on his jungle so we can see where he is. So if you only place one, like you place one here, or like over here, either works. And then it becomes like, okay, Drow's in the mid lane. I don't see Drow, or I don't see Alchemist. I look at this ward I placed. Oh, I don't see Alchemist. Where does that mean he is? It means he's over here in this jungle. And same, if the ward's here, it's like, okay, I have two locations I can see, and if he's not there, then he must be in the third. So even though I don't have a ward here, I know he's here. And then better yet, you can place wards in both sides because we do want to just keep running at the Alchemist. And get a Disruptor kill. Ooh, careful here. Oh, the courier's gonna die. They're still going, so I'd stay in the area. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we gotta get rid of these creeps. This is the issue with aggroing creeps. Drow is still like up there. I don't know what she's doing, but you might want to have stayed here because I don't know. Nothing's really happening here. And you do have enough to still cast like one or two spells. So while this fight's going on, you kind of want to be up here. You were probably focused on like getting away. And it's true, you want to get away. You want to get away from those creeps. Good rune grab. But you still want to stay near the action. Your spells are really good for fighting, just not on your own, but you need people with you. And so like if someone is fighting, then you want to like be over there and help out a bit. Right now, I don't think you had to cast those spells because Alk's definitely not going to die. And now you don't have now you have like no mana. So now we're back to that issue of I can't actually do anything without mana. Keep aggroing these creeps a little. So I think this is what you're talking about. Like at the mid game, I don't know what to do. There's nothing for you to do bottom, really, at this point. Sven is just gonna farm. And he's doing that. So you're not needed. So you can stay mid and pressure this tower. That'll make Alchemist uncomfortable while he's in the jungle. Punish him for it. Take his buildings, or head up to the off lane over here, and same deal. Kind of take these towers. Start to make Alchemist feel uncomfortable. If you take this tower and then you force these guys to like play further back, they're gonna farm this jungle, and that's what Alchemist wants to farm. And so he's gonna feel a little pressured more to be in the lane or in this jungle. And it becomes easier to like know where he is. Anytime you're against a heavy farmer, you want to disrupt their farm, and one of the ways to do that is to take objectives quickly while they're in the jungle. And to do that, you need to be like in those lanes where it's going to happen. So either in this mid lane or in the off lane. But Sven, we want him to farm, and if we come down here to pressure the lane with him, he will naturally come join that, and you don't actually want that. Because you want him to farm. You want this guy to farm while you disrupt their farm. And so we want to try to get in the mid lane or the off lane. Let's come back to you. So like right now, coming down here, not the best positioning wise. I see you going for an arcane boots here. This is a lesson I needed to learn when I was a new player, and it took me a while to learn this lesson, and I like slowly got there. Small items are great. They're the best. There's a lot of money to go straight into energy booster. If you like happen to get a double kill or something, or like a kill in a tower really quickly, and it quickly bursts you up in gold, sometimes you can just rush the energy booster for the arcane boots. But a lot of the time, it's actually better to build up small items, because as a support, we often don't get that huge jump in gold. And so like Ring of Basilius, Raindrops, just a couple Clarities, what else? Tranquil Boots, because these items are very cheap to build up for that. The Magic Stick you already have. But these small items are a really good stepping stone to keep up pressure in the mid game. And when you like save all your money for energy booster, in this case you haven't died yet, but if you do die, you're going to lose some gold, you're going to still feel pressure to like wait on it. It's generally not great. And Jakiro's not really a hero that needs arcane boots. And this game doesn't really scream, I need arcane boots here to me either. You're probably going to die here. Probably should have just let Sven die because he was really low, so it wasn't really going to save him. But I understand wanting to try to help him. And it takes a while to like get a feel for like, can I help, can I not? So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Right now, I have a high feeling, strong feeling, that you're about to teleport to this bottom lane right here. I don't want you to. Yeah. This is very common with new and lower ranked players. You are the position 5. That means you play in this bottom lane at the start of the game, in the laning stage. Once laning ends, and it's like, it can be unclear when it ends, but when it ends, you don't need to keep coming down here. I would say laning stage at this point is done. You don't need to be here anymore. Nothing was happening. This guy's safe. And so, for one, you teleported. The teleport is very much underappreciated when you're starting out at the game. It does cost a lot of money, 90 gold right now, and it has a long cooldown, 80 seconds. So you teleporting down here means you can't help top or mid anymore. So if they dive these towers, you can't rotate to help. If you see a chance to like get kills up there, you can't. The TP is down. What that means is we want to be a little careful with how we teleport. And so if you want to come bottom for whatever reason, like you don't think laning has ended, that's fine. But if you're not needed right away, just walk here. And right now, Sven is farming under his own tower. He's very safe right now. He's, no one's even here. And so you could just walk bottom. And if they show up and start using spells on him and they look like they're going to kill him, then you can teleport, because now you're reacting to something and you need to be there quickly. In the same way, we want to walk bottom so that if we see something happening top or mid, we can react quickly and be there. So I think this mid, or this teleport bottom is, to be straight up blunt, like if I saw a higher level player do this, I'd be like, this is really bad. Do not do this. I'm being like nice, Because I'm generally nice, and because you're new, so I don't expect you to know this. But like, just to make sure you understand the impact of like what that is, like I think that is really bad to do, um, in a nice way, of course. You being in the mid lane. One thing you can do. This is a really minor thing. Technically, coming out here is a little more dangerous than standing out here. If you don't need the rune, and in this case you're like full health, no need for it, you can actually attack and deny runes. I don't know if that's obvious, and I know for a fact it's not in any tutorial in this game, but you can do that. So if you like see the regen rune there and you don't want to leave it for like one of these guys to get, just issue an attack command on the rune, and then you can stand over here. You'll attack it, you'll deny it, and then you don't have to like put yourself at risk or anything. So like these kind of spell usages, I know this isn't you, this is like the Grimstroke, but like the Phantom's Embrace, it doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, it even fed gold in this case. But even if you got the damage off, like it's not leading to anything. And we want to avoid those kind of spell usages because we want to save up mana. Teams don't usually need multiple sets of arcane boots, by the way. So if you were to click around and you see that this guy has been getting his own arcane boots, then you don't need to, that's another reason you don't need it. And as Jakiro, it is pretty safe to just go Tranquil Boots as well. So let's get back to your perspective. Alright. Let's just stay here. There's no need to leave. Mid? Perfectly acceptable to be there. Who do I want you to play around with right now? Night Stalker? Okay, unfortunately, Night Stalker's a hero where it's like, it's not nighttime and he doesn't have its ult, so I actually don't really want to play with him right now. But as a general rule, it's not too bad to play with him. Grimstroke, also quite strong with Inkswell, as long as he's accompanied by one hero, followed up by your spells. After the stun lands, you Macropyre, then you Ice Path, Chain Stun, lots of damage. These are the guys you want to play with. There's nothing for you to do down here. Maybe you're coming toward here. Warding down here is not bad, but like, I think you should just stay mid. And I think you should just play with these guys and pressure this tower. If you're like waiting around, like they're just farming here, stack this while you wait, and then just like keep waiting. Tell them like, hey, I want to push this, and try to push it in. Because we want to make his life difficult. And right now, it's not difficult enough. Right? Look at this guy. He like farms a bit, walks away. Now he waits. Right? Make his life difficult. Alright. Let's go, let's see. You warded up here. You don't want to follow this guy. There's Jakiro's not a hero who can get solo kills. It's extremely difficult to get a solo kill. And dragging Sven out from farming is actually really bad. You just want Sven to stay down here and farm. If he can do that, you don't really want to drag him up to kills all the way over here. If someone else, like if Night Stalker was cutting in, then that's fine. But he wasn't. So it's very difficult for you to get solo kills with your spells. You just don't like have enough damage. They usually get away from you, and then you've used all your mana. So you usually need at least one other person with you. This ward, by the way, so this was to protect Sven, which is a great idea. I do want to protect Sven so he can keep farming down here until we like take some towers, and then he can rotate. But I think a ward in this area would still protect Sven because you see people rotate in this way. Maybe you don't see someone teleport to the tower, but you can't have everything. If you put it over here, you help protect Sven from like walking, like the roaming from over here, and you spot this area to see when Alchemist comes up to here to farm. Whereas this ward protects Sven, but doesn't give him as much time to like, if you put the ward here, you see someone start to walk, it immediately gives Sven time to like react. This only like gives him a little less time. Still good to protect him, but it doesn't see anyone farming. So in terms of like optimal ward placement, I think a little deeper would be better. See, like right now, they are strong. Like I just want to go play with them, and I want to help them out. By the way, you're against Mirana. who counts as an invis hero, more or less. And as soon as she hits 6, you have to start carrying some dust on you. Okay, pretty decent macro pyre here. I am glad you ended up getting up here, but it kind of felt a bit more of a reaction. I don't know if you like had it in your mind to like make your way here. Whoop. Forgot the magic wand. No big deal. By the way, if you're about to die, try to like throw out your spells like arcane boots, because it'll help out Night Stalker, and it keeps going off cooldown while you're respawning. I'm sure you know that, and you were just like panicking in the moment. It's very common when you start playing, so not sweating about it. But I'll just throw it out there so we know. When you respawn, okay, take a look at the minimap. What should we do? I think TPing mid right now is okay. Why? Because these creeps, first off, there's a decent amount, 5. I would say that's a lot. There's 5 creeps under your tower, which means they're all going to die. And if no one's here, it's a huge waste. So to me, this is a certain level of immediate action that I would like to be part of. Especially in this early game, 5 creeps is like half a level. Not quite, but it's a decent amount to your next level. And since your drow is dead, and there's no real reason for Sven to rotate for this, I think TPing here would be nice. Yeah, you walked a little bit, but then decided to TP. Okay, you are choosing to max Ice Path. Now, if you're going to max Ice Path, what that means is that you have very little damage to push out waves on your own, but you provide this awesome stun. Really long range, decent duration, 2.5 seconds, I would say. You know, it's not like crazy, but like it's a pretty solid stun, especially because it's AoE and it's persisting stun. Makes you really good in team fights. What's that mean? You got to be near the team, because they're going to do the rest of the damage. So you really want to be around Night Stalker and or one of these two. But you know, draft-wise is not the best to have a Drow and a Sven, because they're both kind of heavy farmers at the start. But yeah, it kind of works too. They have a decent amount of early damage. But Night Stalker would be ideal. So while we see like all this stuff happening top, I think right now Drow's still dead. Just go shove in mid. You get to farm it, shove it in. By the way, we have all these empty slots. That's kind of why like rushing Arcane Boots and Magic Wand not so great. It's like slot inefficient. Right now, if you like picked up some small items along the way, I think that would be really nice. And coming bottom to defend this tower, I think, is good. And as a support, if we can walk, it's great, because now the core can TP in like Drow did. Be a little careful with how you're walking, though. There could be some other heroes. Looks like there aren't, and looks like they're backing away. This ward overlaps a lot with that ward, so I wouldn't have both. And we still need some detection, so that should be one of our slots. Free kill here, cool. You can liquid fire towers, by the way, and it will slow their attack speed. So that was probably a kill, to be honest. But you didn't have vision of him, so that's why it's really important to carry detection. 2 options. You can either carry a bunch of sentries or dust. I personally prefer to do both, like a medium amount of sentries and dust. But I do see some players who are better than me. Sometimes they won't have any dust, and they'll just buy like 4 sentries or something. I personally, I don't love that, but it is an option. Right now you have neither, so at least one of them, you know. Yules, I think, is a fine item. Really good against Kunkka here. Save you from this guy. Won't save you from Glimpse. Dodge his stun, dodge arrow, that kind of thing. Pick up the Void Stone and the Windlace first. The Staff of Intelligence should be pretty much the last item besides the recipe. The flat int boost, like your mana pool is actually quite large. Like if you look at your spells, okay, subtract 250 because you have Arcane Boots, right? So if you didn't have this, you'd have about 750. Or I'm sorry, 650, which is enough to cast all your spells and like 1 or 2 others, especially if you factor in Magic Wand, and if you had some like innate regen. So usually the issue is not mana pool, which is what the intelligence, Staff of Intelligence does. Staff of Wizardry, is that what's it called? Where is it? Yeah, Staff of Wizardry. Your issue is that you like cast Dual Breath to push out one wave, but then your mana regen is not the best. So buying a Void Stone is usually better, so that you can keep casting spells but stay near full, so that when a fight does break out, you can throw out all your spells at once. But if you just get like the Staff of Intelligence, it doesn't really help with that. Right now, I think this is okay. We see 3 heroes mid. Kind of getting a free tower here. I would Liquid Fire the tower. Yes, there you go. Oops. Okay. Couple things to say. So first, Liquid Fire does affect towers. It slows their attack speed and does damage to them through Fortify, fun fact. So if you're pushing a tower, it's good to do just because the tower will attack your creep slower, and that gives you more time to hit the tower. Not to mention like some extra tower damage yourself. Then the next point, once I see this arrow come through here, I'm thinking that the enemy might run through here as well. And especially once the X goes down, I would throw Macro Pyre and Stun down this path. So that way, like anyone who wants to run through here has to run through your stuff, and it might deter them from continuing. Right here, this is a good Macro Pyre as well. Pretty decent Macro Pyre there too, actually. Very nice. Drow got a lot there. What'd you pick up? I actually really like the attack range talent. But you're new to the hero, so I wouldn't. And everyone, okay, if you follow most common sense guides, they'll tell you to get the spell amp. But as a Jakiro spammer, I really like the attack range talent, and I think it's pretty solid overall. In this case, Mirana, I know Drow has the damage to kill just about anyone, actually. If it's one of these three, Mirana, Skywrath, or Disruptor, she has the damage for sure. Alchemist and Kunkka, it might be a little closer. So if you see her fighting one of these 3 heroes, all you need to do is provide the stun. That's why you max it out, is to provide the stun for her to get the kills. Or for whoever to supply the damage. So she has the damage, so you don't need extra damage from Dual Breath. You'll want the stun. Now this does have a move slow, so that can be good. But in Mirana's case, she has leap, and that is her mobility, and so that doesn't care about your move slow, so you just want to stun her. Other times it is okay. Like against Disruptor or Skywrath, probably just slowing them is enough, and you can save your stun in case they try to TP out or something. By the way, instead of taking the talent at level 10, I think maxing Dual Breath is better. So usually for me, by level 10, I have both of these maxed out. I have Liquid Fire 1 point, Macro Pyre, and then at level 11, then I pick up the talent usually. Okay, getting a Yule's. I think this would be fine. I just want you to pick up a some detection as well. Other items you can consider. So the Yule's protects you from Skywrath, but doesn't protect anyone else. So maybe a 4-staff here to push anyone out of his ult. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, 4-staff is not very good against X marks and glimpse, so that's a bit of a downside. Glimmer Cape is okay too. Yeah. And then it's a little unconventional. I think Solar Crest is also pretty decent this game because you have a Sven and a Drow, and even a Night Stalker actually. So for these 3 guys, I think a Medallion or Solar Crest is really strong, and you just like buff them up with it. A Spirit Vessel also pretty decent against an Alchemist. As a position 5, it's a little weird for you to buy it. If anyone, I would say like a Night Stalker should have probably bought it this game. She's dead. The Force Staff can also be good to get people out of the arrow. So if you see like Atos, what is this creep doing? Creep? Hello? So if you see the like if you see him Atos someone and then you see the arrow coming in, you can like Force Staff them out. Oh, look at all this farm. Feels great. Alright, yeah, run to them. Go help them out. You see other invis. We can't actually fight without vision. Nice. Excellent angle. I don't have anything to say there. Good chain stun. All that. Enemy mango tree. I would look to break this. It's a little wasteful. Okay, I'll say it. It's wasteful to use macro pyre to break mango trees. But I've done it. So it's really, I think it's really bad to leave the mango tree up. And in fact, probably yesterday, I think this comes out Tuesday. Based on the Witch Doctor replay we did recently, they left a mango tree up. Like his team left a mango tree here, the enemy's mango tree up here for like the whole game, and it ruined like multiple ganks and team fights. Don't give them free vision. Don't give them free mangoes. Like, cut these as soon as you can. If you don't want a macro pyre, that's fine. But like, pick up like tangos, a quelling blade, something. Do you guys have like the iron talon? No, unfortunately. Like, does this guy still have? I can't click him. He does not have his quelling blade. He's got his quelling blade. Like, ask someone to cut this mango tree. Maybe you're about to do it anyways, but I just want to say, like, if you see the enemy's mango tree, try to get it cut down like as soon as you can. Yeah, this is a little awkward. Your team has like the path you've chosen, and so you are taking a lot of tower damage right here. In general, you want to avoid that. Oops, missed the timing a little bit. Yeah, so this was a unnecessary dive. Definitely just want to hit the tower. You're probably dead here. I'd be amazed if you don't die here. Yeah. Kind of, not that rich. Let's check it out. So he could definitely be richer, but relative to the game, he's doing pretty decent. Fortunately, everyone else on his team is doing pretty badly. What's happening here? You muting them? Or are you checking stuff out? Okay, looks like you're getting a Glimmer Cape next. When you finish Glimmer, you'll still have these two slots open. That's why like small items are really good. Like a Bassi, Medallion. But Medallion is not really a small item. But like the Bassi, extra Winlay, stuff like that. Just a really good habit to get into. When you're going to TP out somewhere, you end up coming bottom. I think that's okay overall. Try to make sure you pick up a second teleport on your way out, though, because now you're not going to have one. Oops. Wrong one. Overall, I think you were teleporting to participate in these fights down here, and I think that's the right idea. Let them go invis again. We got no detection. That wasn't ideal, going that far. It's easy to get caught in the bloodlust, but for sure, once they go invis and we don't have detection, I'm just asking my team to get out. I don't think that's worth it. Here, another teleport. Unnecessary. First off, your drow right here. So if this wave does push in, she's going to come down and farm it. But it's also not urgent. So even if she wasn't down here, you have time to walk down here. You've got boots and Yule, so your move speed is pretty respectable now. Like, not too bad. So you'd get here. Maybe you miss a creep or two, and that's too bad. But if you think about it, a creep or two is worth like 80 gold, and that's less than a town portal scroll. So I think walking down here would have been the good decision. Plus, look at how many creeps you have here. There's a lot of creeps. It'll take a long time for this to push in. Oh, here's some stuff going on here. Just kidding, you're not needed at all. Drow's doing really well. At least based on the kills she's gotten. Oh, a little less than I thought. But she's still quite farmed. And so, originally I said, okay, let's play around Night Stalker. Kind of still true, but you can also follow Drow, I think, as well. She's doing pretty well. It's really important. Like sometimes Drow will have an awful game, but Sven will be doing amazing. Then it's like, okay, we're gonna go follow Sven. But you have to identify, like, okay, who's doing well, who's got the damage. Let me back them up. Try to play in the same area they are. This is a classic. Sven still TP'd bot, like after the 2 of you were down there. Or did he walk there? Did I miss that? No, he definitely TP'd down here. I like the idea. He is BKB'd though, so like this isn't going to affect him. So then we want to hold the spell until after that ends. Nice Ice Path angle. I think it's absolutely fine to use a Macro Pyre there too. This is a fight under their tower. So this would be a really, like, this is the time to throw out the damage. You do have a Sentry this time, so you need to place it. Try to place it out of the tower. So like over here, I think would be decent. But then of course you do have a slot, so this could be dust. And I'm gonna say it as many. You probably got it after the first time I said it. I don't care. I'm saying it as many times as it happens, just so you realize like this is every opportunity we missed because we don't have detection. So there's like this one, the bad fight over here, some other ones we saw. Like, honestly, this fight probably goes cleaner. Looks like you guys are still winning, but it probably goes a lot cleaner. Whoa! Oh my goodness, how much DO? Woo! This fight goes a lot cleaner if you had detection, because you guys would have just killed off those 2 heroes before they could have done anything, I think. And then you probably would still be alive. And, yeah, it looks like it's still going well, but it could have gone even better. So I do want to highlight that. And you've got the money. Like, you're actually quite rich this game. Let's see what neutrals there are. Keen Optic is pretty solid on Jakiro. Faded Brooch is also okay. I'd probably choose Keen Optic myself because of the cast range. I think Clumsy Net, though, has better mana regen, and the root is pretty good. Oh, I actually really like Grove Bow on Jakiro. Because with the attack range talent, with the Grove Bow, and then by manually casting Liquid Fire, whew, it's like so far, your attack. I love it. Is it good? Not really this game, to be honest, because your cores are all physical and not really magic damage based. But it's fun. So fun. The root, Clumsy Net root, really good against Mirana. Also sets up your own Ice Path. Going for a Scythe. You are kind of rich, and at the pace this game's going, it looks like you guys are in a good shape. It does mean you're just not going to get a new item for like 20 minutes, though, because Scythe is so expensive. And I do think there are some other stuff you could probably get. So, like, the 4-staff we mentioned. Solar Crest, I think, is really good here, too. At this point, I don't think you want to go back for a Spirit Vessel. I wouldn't hate Vlad's, to be honest. I think it's really good with your 3 cores. Aether Lens too greedy. They do have long ranges. That's why I'm thinking of Aether Lens, so you can stun from further away. Oh, you actually, because you went Arcane Boots, you do have the option to go for Greaves. And that wouldn't be too bad either, because this also gives you, like, team fight presence and help to sustain these guys. Yeah, I think those options are pretty good. Lotus is okay, but also because of Glimpse, because of X Marks, not the greatest Lotus game. But I think one of those first before the Scythe would be great. Is this the blue effect everyone's talking about? I haven't been playing lately because my internet was buggy and now I'm like back home. I've seen this a couple times in this replay and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Is it like Luna ult or something? I guess that's the Sentry that everyone's complaining about. This is pretty something. Right now, you guys should just be shoving in bottom like rapidly. And in fact, you don't even need to be here. Let Sven do it, and you run mid, maybe even get involved in this fight. But if you want to go with him and shove down bot, I'm okay with that too. Because you see, like, 3 of them here and Kunka's dead. So who's going to stop you? One hero? I think not. So Sven, like, he's the poorest core, but he's still, like, strong. And then you provide, like, damage and stuns, and this is good for pushing towers. So I think if you guys shoved in bottom, you could probably start getting this tower here. Yeah, look at that. They're all there. So you're kind of just, like, killing time, like, nowhere. But if you had, like, ran mid. So first of all, if you had shoved bottom with him a little faster, I think you'd already be at the tower. But look, he's here now. Still 4 heroes up here. So you and Sven, like, you liquid fire this. Sven starts hitting it. Maybe he... Heck, I would say ult it, you know? While they're all distracted. And then, like, if one of them starts TPing back, tell your team, like, go, stop him from TPing. Like, we're actually just going to get bottom raxed right here. You know? So, like, right now, I think you guys should be getting this. And we'll take a look at, like, how much damage it takes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Took about 400 damage just from the creeps, and they even got distracted by the other creeps. And the reason I was just waiting is just to show you how much time we had. If you had followed down here with Sven and the creeps, like, and you're even longer because your liquid fire would slow this thing's attack speed down. And if you really wanted, one of you could tank the tower so that you have 1 creep alive, disabling backdoor. But I honestly think the 2 of you could probably take this tower. Look, they're still over here. Let's see how long this goes. I mean, it goes a little longer because the 2 of you are here, but I don't know. Nice. All right, 4 dead. We could push in mid, or we could do Roshan. I think Roshan would be a very safe call right now. But taking a tower, also pretty solid. Hey, look at that. I didn't realize how low it was. Let's go do Roshan, I think. Why not push it in? You might be wondering, like, oh, they're all dead. You could. But we don't know their buyback status. And Sven used his ult. So it's going to be about... Like, he'll have it a little longer, but it's going to be close to being done by the time you get to the high ground. Night Stalker's dead. He's a strong part of your team. Drow, like, half health. She's, like, okay, but she could get bursted. So, like, you could push it in a bit, but since you only have, like... Okay, Alk, long time. But look at these creeps. And in fact, let's watch. So it's 31:08 right now. I see why you guys get here. 13 seconds. These guys getting close to respawning. Can you get this tower in 10 seconds? I don't really think you should be able to, especially if, like, Kunkka or Disruptor was here, like, casting some spells. But let's see. Look how much damage he's doing. Imagine it when you guys had, like, 20 seconds to hit this tower for free. So now you only have about 10 seconds. So, like, Mirana's up. Yeah, so... overstayed our welcome. Yeah. So that's kind of why I felt like, you know, by the time we get to the tower, not so great. But by the time we get here, and then for them to come contest, they all have to, like, TP in or, like, run in because they've lost all their towers and the outpost. Like, it takes them, like, 30 seconds to get here. You have a lot of time to get Roshan, even as Sven's ult ends. So I think Roshan would have been a much safer call there. And it's just really nice to have Roshan before you push the high ground. Just, like, Aegis is good. And that's kind of why I was, like, really emphasizing this. Because I just said, like, usually you want Aegis before you get the chance to push high ground. And this was just, like, a free chance to go high ground anyways, because they were all gone. And if you do, like, push up here and they all TP home, that's fine. You just help Night Stalker get away. And you force them all to rotate. Maybe you guys all run to Roshan then. And then you can, like, force high ground. But yeah. Okay, now we're carrying some sentries. Still need a couple more, though. Just because, think about things you're going to want to do. Oh, I want to do Roshan? I need a sentry out here. You guys happen to have one. But let's say it's not here. You need one. And then it's like, okay, if they had any towers up still, we're pushing mid tower here. I have to put a sentry out here in case they Mirana ult to defend it. Okay, we get this tower, we can keep going. Oh, I need to put another sentry in case Mirana, like, they come here. Oh, a fight breaks out and it slowly shifts its way here. I still don't have dust. I need another sentry here. You know, anywhere you move to fight, you need a sentry. And so carrying 2, like, not bad, but you fight here, then you want to come fight here. Uh-oh, what if the fight, like, moves into here? We're out of sentries because we put one here, put one here. You got to have a couple to keep it up. Or dust. Or both. Right now, your team's really strong. Just go stand with them. We don't have to get too complicated into it. It's just, we're really strong right now. We can just stand near them. A little bit of a... What's happening? Why'd you stop chasing? Was someone else there? I guess so. So, this is something not clear in the game. X marks, if he X's you, I think I said this earlier, but just to describe it more. If he X's you and you Yules yourself, and then he like tries to call you back with the X marks, you stay in the Yules and you're fine. If you get glimpsed and then you Yules, you'll still get pulled back. I don't know. What it looked like you were trying to glimpse or Yules yourself there. That's why I was saying it. But I don't know. Could be wrong. Yo, I'm just out. Leave this guy. Forget him. I mean, he sort of came to help you, which was very nice of him, you know. But then he should just get out. And if he still does that, just ditch him. I don't care. Let him die. Hey, let's go check out Night Stalker. Look at this. Right now, it's absolutely okay for you to run out and die. You're just making time for this guy. Like, run out here, and if you see them teleporting, you cancel it with Ice Path or your Yules. Otherwise, they go and kill you. That's fine. Night Stalker, taking buildings. You know? Double damage? Oh, yeah. Ping that. Sven, get over here. Possibly could do Roshan with this. You end up taking it. Yeah, Sven wasn't running over. I guess it's safe. Kind of just lost his tower for free. Although I think Sven should have been going for it. Yeah, look, another opportunity. He probably still would have gotten away. But this guy definitely has space to carry detection. Everyone should carry detection if they have space. It's just good practice. Also, now that this guy has a Silver Edge, he may have had it sooner and I just didn't notice. Mirana is like an invis hero, but if you see... Like, as long as you see one hero, you know when she ults or not, because everyone gets the little moon over their head. But when someone gets a Shadow Blade, all the more reason you need to preemptively place your sentries. Because otherwise, if it's just Mirana, you're kind of okay to like save your sentry until you see like, as long as you can see an enemy hero, it's kind of okay to hold the sentry. But when someone like Alchemist has a Silver Edge, you have to have it preemptively down because he could be walking up with a charge stun and then just stun out of invis and win the fight right off that one good engagement. But if you have a sentry down, he tries to do that. You stun him, he stuns himself. Now you've won based off of that. And it's a 70 gold item. 75 gold. Yeah, 75 gold. Out here, I don't know if that was like next level, like, oh, she'll definitely kill her in the silence. But I think it's safe to throw out the Ice Path to get the stun there. Yeah, so you see how this guy's BKB'd, so you can't Yules, can't stun, anything like that. And like you can't really Glimmer the Drow because she's going to keep right-clicking, and so the Invis isn't going to do anything. That's when like Medallion and Vlad's are really good because you boost up your own carry when the enemy has all their BKBs up. And then when it's down, then you can cast your spells. Well, that's just like safe. Get that guy. Nice. Alright. Push or Roche? Think about it. What do you think? I would say probably Roche. Because even though they're dead for a really long time, still don't know their buyback statuses. And, you know, by the time we get here, that's about 20, 30 seconds, you know? So it's getting close to buyback times. Plus, what if this guy X marks himself, runs in, cleaves the whole wave, and then X marks back? Well, now we gotta wait another 30 seconds for the next creep wave. And then, hey, they're like all up at that point. So I think it's just very safe to get Roshan. And then you can go high ground. Plus, he's got his ult still going right now, so... Plus, if you get Aegis, then you wait for Drow, then you've got your full team up again. You guys are really strong, right? You shouldn't even be scared of a 5-on-5, especially if you guys have Aegis. Oh, that mango tree's still there, guys. It's killing me. I see you. I mean, you were in the creep wave anyways, so... That's why I like the attack range talent. So right now, you have to come under the tower to cast Liquid Fire. But if you have this attack range talent, you can stand back here and, like, pew, hit this. And it's really great. If your team has enough damage, I really like the Ice Path talent at 15. Just because Sven, Night Stalker, and Drow, they're all, like, doing decently. They all have the damage. So you don't need more damage. You just need to make sure, like, the enemy team is stunned so that your team can get the damage out. So I really like Ice Path, cooldown. And then, depending on the game, if I need to stay back or I die, you know, maybe I do the dual breath range. Specifically, if we are losing the game and I need to be the one defending towers and killing off a creep wave safely, then the dual breath range is really good. But otherwise, I tend to really like the -50 liquid fire attack speed, because you already have 60, and that puts it at 110, which is very close to a moon shard. 110 out of 140, you know? So that's just a lot of value. And you can use it on the tower, on enemy heroes. So like Alchemist would be a great character to use it on. Mirana to some extent. These other three in this game, not so great. But like, imagine if it was on the other team, like you were on this team. Great on Drow, great on Sven, great on Night Stalker, slow their attack speeds by so much, you know? So I really like that talent. Oh, there we go. I wouldn't hate if you farmed a bit because you're kind of close to Scythe. This game looks like it's going to go on for a bit longer. Really shouldn't. You guys are really strong right now. I think you could just end. I mean, not like straight end, but like, you know, get the racks, get the racks, get the racks. In this case, we just like took a series of like 4 fights, and I was kind of talking through that. So So first off, Sven dies on his own. So it's now 4-on-5. And then Rimstroke dies on his own. And then you guys still choose to play aggressively here. It's 3-on-5. I know you guys are ahead by 8k, but when you take out Sven, who's 17k, and you take out Grimstroke, who's 12k, we're not actually 8k up. In fact, we are quite far behind. I know you guys got 2 kills anyways. If you got out right now, it's kind of like okay. But I just think it's like not worth the risk. Plus, then you guys feel a little overconfident here, I suppose, and stay too long. Oh, he did get a Spirit Vessel, actually. I wasn't even paying attention to his items. I stayed too long, and now they both died. Didn't really need to risk this at all. Oh, even though you did get a Mirana. I don't know. Whether that favors you or them, if you want to get out there alive, Yule's him, Glimmer, walk somewhere. Maybe Yule's into Ice Path, into TPing out right away. Maybe you live. You might still die there. But you guys are really strong. An even trade is a losing trade. That's what I want to say. So I don't think you guys have to like play this risky. Like, okay, we messed up. Sven died on his own. Grimstroke died on his own. Let's just wait. All get back together, and then, you know, take a straightforward fight. I don't think you guys had to buy back here. I don't care about this tier 2 tower. Wait to see them actually come to the high ground before having to buy back. I think it's really not necessary to buy back there. If we did use buyback, I would go get Roshan. This guy's like running up here alone, like asking to get killed. Like, oh god. Yeah. Right? Like, why are we up here alone? There's so many people on our team. 5 of them. Get them all together. And get Roshan. That's why we like need Sentries down. He's almost killed. He killed you earlier by being invis and sneaking up on you. He almost just killed Drow, and ultimately they did kill Drow. I kind of forget how Sven died. I think it was through this as well, though. Like a gem is kind of value this game. We're kind of just feeding kills away like this for no reason. Oh wait, were you the only one to buy back? I thought I heard 2. Am I crazy? Oh, I guess it was just you that bought back. Yeah, I still stand by what I said. I don't think you needed to buy back until they come up to the high ground. But for some reason I thought Sven bought back too, and I was like, that's really bad. But with it, if it's just you, it's not so bad. Ninja gear, that's not for you. Ninja gear, 20 agility. Throw that on Drow. Really strong for her. And if not Drow, like, I don't know. I still don't think you need it. Heck, Sven wouldn't mind. It's like 20 attack speed, some armor, and Smoke of Deceit to sneak up on people. I think that's pretty good for him. I still think probably this, like, spider legs, keep your distance. Mindbreaker, you can apply a silence from really far away, like the attack speed plus you're manually casting it. You can apply a silence pretty far away. Flicker, just for the move speed, not too bad. But I think Ninja Gear probably goes on a core. If they don't want it, I guess you can take it, but you should at least like offer it. We're like chain feeding deaths now. That's why this game's taking a really long time. And if you think about it, way back here, like 10, 20 minutes ago, we had that chance to get this Rax. We had another chance like... Actually, I don't remember if we had another direct chance to get mid, but we had like chances to get Roshan, which could have led to a clean fight. So... I don't know what I was trying to say there. I guess I was just trying to emphasize... why like I thought this was such a good opportunity. And 2, you can only use 1. There's a cooldown. I think you guys forgot. What? Is there not a cooldown? I thought there was. Is it because there were like 2 separate ones, like someone else bought one for you? Or did they... Am I crazy? Is this not a thing anymore? I don't know, guys. Alright, I don't want to be up here until Sven's up. Okay, look. Oh, again. He's just running up invis, killing. Uh-oh. Just got air in there. Not a bad idea to try to TP out. But they have multiple ways to cancel it, so... You know, that kind of idea is better at the early game. Looks like they're going to get Roshan now. We probably should have gone Roshan like 10, 15 minutes ago. And we should have gone the second Roshan, which would have been around now anyway. Like coming in to fight. Alright. Look how strong your cores are. Look how they won that. 3 of them. Against 4 and Aegis. So why not just all go together and end the game? I'm not sitting in silence to let that sink in. I just like, I don't know. I didn't know what else to say there. I know you guys are just so strong. You guys just end the game. Look at this mango tree still alive.
Middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks has
I'll probably TP down. I would pick up a second one though. Try to like always have a TP. I would say. Yeah, they kind of went too far on their own. There's like two issues. People used to complain like, oh, everyone just groups mid and like it's a 5-on-5 fight like the whole time. It's really bad. But then it's funny because eventually people start to like learn to split up and then they forget to like actually group up. And it's like, if you guys grouped up, I feel like a broken record, but like if we just grouped up like 15 minutes ago, we could clean this out straight and simple. So for yourself, as you start to play this game more, really try to one of the things you want to like start to recognize is like, you know, there are a lot of tactics to get farm, to stack, to split push, smoke ganks, all that stuff. All of that is to build a lead. And at some point, when your lead is like strong enough, you just walk down and you win. Now sometimes it doesn't happen. You have to keep using these kind of tactics where you look for like partial team fights, pick-offs, Roshan, split pushing, ratting, like that sort of thing. But then there are games kind of like how I feel this game is, where it's like, guys, if we just walked together, Night Stalker on the front line, we have like double soul, we have Soulbind into like 2 sights, into like double Sven stun, double Abyssal, double Void. You know, we got like 3 BKBs, oh, just kidding, 2 BKBs on our cores, an Assault Cuirass to make Drow even stronger. You provide crazy AoE stuns, you know, with this. Like, we just win fights. With a BKB up, Disruptor and Skywrath don't do anything. And so you just like, you know, they BKB, you guys win the fight. And I feel like position 5s will frequently have the most time to think about it. Holy crap. Position 5s will frequently have more time to think about it than cores. Because cores tend to be, they like tunnel vision on getting farm. And they like just keep thinking about that. And they forget to like actually do other stuff. If you liquid fire this building, by the way, you will affect both towers. But if you liquid fire the towers, you won't hit both towers. And the game's over, so you can goof around like this. But otherwise, I would recommend just like focus. Like if it was a closer game, I would just say like just focus on the tower. Don't get distracted with those creeps. Okay, so summary time. I want you to try that pulling thing we talked about. Just do like the 117 half pull, stack at 153. After that, do whatever. And even if you don't do that, I just keep trying to think of pulling. Because I did see like in that lane stage, there were times where it's like you were kind of just standing around, the lane was pushed up, and you were just like kind of not doing too much. That's pulling time right there. Then after that, you kind of keep going back to bottom a little too much. You know, go find your offlane buddies, your mid buddies. You know, and it won't be an Alchemist game every game. And so, you know, if it's Alchemist, you got to run an Alchemist. But otherwise, you know, going to the offlane, pushing the enemy safe lane tower, that's perfectly fine. That's not to say you can't go mid even when it's like not Alchemist, but it varies depending on the game. So I would say like going to the offlane is just a very safe bet. But if you kind of know what you're doing, you can go mid as well. And then, once you can identify your team has a lead, just like ask your team, like, hey, can we get a kill or two, get Roshan, then repeat. Look for another kill or two, and then just go down a lane. It's kind of like this simple formula. And it's very much possible to always get like the kill or two you need to start Roshan, to start the push, because people are very undisciplined in Dota. They split up all the time. So if you can get your team to listen, or like, hey, please like stand here, like ward up, whatever, spot the guy alone, kill him, then you can go push stuff. Yeah, honestly, kind of better than I would have expected for a new player. That was like I saw you applying. Like first off, you shared tango is great. Then you tried to do a half pull, and so that was good. Your itemization as a whole was fine, even though you weren't too familiar with the hero. I do want you to do some a couple more small item purchases, like a windlace, Bassy, raindrops, that kind of stuff along the way. But your major purchases were all pretty reasonable. Nothing too bad there, and that's pretty good. Because a lot of times when people start, their itemization's horrible. Although I will say you do need detection. Looks like Grimstroke was actually buying a ton of it, but you're actually the position 5, so I didn't fully realize that actually. For some reason I thought you bought more, even though I was literally watching you play. I guess I wasn't focused on that. But you should be buying a bit more of it. Actually, I'm kind of impressed that everyone was buying wards. It's actually kind of good. But you definitely want to buy more sentries, and you absolutely need to buy dust. Maybe even a gem in some games, like this one, where we saw Alk get repeated invis kills, and we could avoid that with a gem. So yeah, work that in. But the major items, that's pretty good. Skill build overall was fine. Besides this starting stuff, but we already talked about that. The rest was okay. Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good start for a new player. So again, welcome to the game, and I hope this helped. If it didn't, you have questions, of course, feel free to ask any of them. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.